Hello, everyone. I see you. I do see you. I see you right here on Facebook. This is 12:30 p.m. right here on First Chapter Fun, and it is Thursday. And as you can see by my not so subtle messing with my phone, I'm attempting to go live on Instagram as well as Facebook. And let's just see if it will let me do that. And here we go. Yay, we have conquered it. Yes, again. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to another edition of First Chapter Fun. It is Thursday. You see, I had to think about that for a second. It is Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and just as we have for 141 other times, Hannah Mary McKinnon and I are bringing you First Chapter Fun. I'm Hank Philippi Ryan. Welcome to today's episode. I see Al, I see Lee Matthew Goldberg, whose book we are reading, The Ancestor today, and Jen Jumba. Oh, the light. There we go. There you have it. There is the creepy cover of The Ancestor. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I see you all joining on Instagram. Hi, Kathleen Fox, and hi, Diane. And the texts are going by so fast that I can't see them. That's very nice to see. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. And now I'm going to fuss with Facebook for a moment to see if I can find me on Facebook so I can see all of your wonderful posts, because I don't want to miss the comments. That's the fun part for me and for Hannah Mary McKinnon, my partner in fictional crime. And there I see it. I will turn off the Okay. This is never a dull moment. I wonder how frustrating it is to you to see Hannah and me fuss with the technology. It's really interesting. You'd think it would be so easy, but it's not so easy. So forgive us due for this little insight into the inner workings of how First Chapter Fun comes to you every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:30 p.m. But here we are, and I see Lilia, hola Lilia, and Susan Braun and Shannon, of course. Amisha is here. Nice to see you, I think, for the first time. Um, and Margaret and Elizabeth Ann and Carrie and Lynn and Sherry and Tracy and Kimmer the book nerd, and Ali, who helps us so much. And oh, your comments are coming in so fast. I promise Hannah and I will look at all of them. But welcome, welcome, welcome to First Chapter Fun. It is Thursday. It is March the 11th, which is kind of a strange day, isn't it? Do you remember where you were this time last year on March the 11th? I mean, that is a crazy, shocking thing even to imagine, isn't it? I remember I was on my way to a book event in Palm Beach, Florida. And I was in the airport in Boston, in Logan Airport, and I went to the bookstore in Logan Airport, and there was the bookseller who had my book, The Murder List, and I was so happy to see that. It's so amazing, isn't it, all of you writers, to see your books in an airport bookstore. Somehow that is a rite of passage that I had always dreamed of. And so there it was. And I kind of remember, oh, and I see you just pouring in. This is so nice to see you. Hello, Amy. That's so nice to see you. And Jacqueline is saying, technology is a challenge. And our darling Grace is saying, it's never a dull moment. Battling the technology on First Chapter Fun. Yes, that is part of the ado, right? That we love so much. So I was in the airport on the way to West Palm Beach, on the way to Palm Beach to a big, big book event, a big fancy book event for which I'd been looking forward quite a bit. And I found myself wishing that they had canceled it, right? Because all the sort of information about this pandemic, was it even a pandemic on March the 11th, was coming out. And I was nervous. I was worried, and really, I gotta tell you, frankly, I'll tell you now a year later that all I really wanted to do was come home. That's what I was thinking about. So I went to the event and I was terrified. I remember, this is such a little detail, but I remember that the MC, there were 250 people in this glamorous, glittering, glorious room. And I was so happy with stacks and stacks of The Murder List. And it was supposed to be so great. Hi, Jim Collins. It's so nice to see you. And Amy and Michelle, hi from Orlando. This is so nice to see you all. Hannah and I just love this. I see some new people and some veterans, and that is spectacular. We are incredibly grateful. So just going on with this endless story, because I know you have your own stories as well. And so I'm in this room about to be introduced to give the keynote speech at this big event, terrified. And all the people had a buffet before the event, and I'm crouching in the back in the hall watching these people share food, and I'm thinking, oh, please don't do that. I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, please don't do that. But it wasn't my place to say anything. So I walk up to the podium, and the woman who just introduced me handed me a microphone. And I thought, oh no, dear Miss Manners, what do I do now? Do I take this microphone that she's been holding and speaking into? And I was so afraid, and I did it, and I got to tell you, I wouldn't have done that if I had known. Judy Singer is here. That's so nice. And Christine has superpowers. Christine Powers, who runs Club Red Book Group. It is a marvelous book club that I highly, highly recommend. And some people from her book, including Christine, have names in several of my novels. So look for those. I'll never tell. Lynn says she's happy to be here today. Judy Singer is here. As I said, that's great. So anyway, as Margaret says, this is the anniversary of the day that WHO, World Health Organization, declared it a pandemic. I know who's on first. And who'd have known anything, right, of all of us, what would have happened. So I can tell you right now, before we get started with our book for the day, that underneath this jacket is a Band-Aid. And underneath that Band-Aid is my second vaccination, which I had the day before yesterday. And I am so happy. I blocked out yesterday for side effects day, but I was really spacey. Oh, you should have seen me. I had so much to do. And I was walking around like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I won't do that. I guess it's okay, whatever. Seeing Hank Spacey is a pretty unusual circumstance. So anyway, all good, all fine. My arm is still a little bit tender, but I'm so very happy. So I wish you all the best and quick and safe vaccinations for you all. Here, and Grace is reminding me that it was also left coast crime in San Diego last year, and then the city shut down the convention. Hey, Jean Ann DeGarmo from Michigan, and Hannah is saying there's another anniversary coming up that is also wonderful, and I will tell you about that in 1 minute. So welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. This is such an interesting moment for all of us. A year since the World Health Organization, as Margaret says, marked it a pandemic. A year almost since the fabulous and glorious, our leader, Hannah Mary McKinnon, started First Chapter Fun. And with that in mind, just you wait until next week on First Chapter Fun. We have so many events planned for you, and they are getting more and more of them are coming every moment of every day. So Tuesday, we'll have our regular reading, and more about that in a minute. Thursday, we'll have our regular reading, and more about that in a minute. And Wednesday, March 17th, the first anniversary of First Chapter Fun, is going to be just a big party here on First Chapter Fun on Facebook. So come to Facebook, and the glorious loot that you can get and the glorious authors that you can meet, it's going to be a nonstop day of fun. So put this all, next week is just mark that down as First Chapter Fun Week. That's all I can say, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with Hannah Mary McKinnon and with me, and we are happy about that. So I'm seeing you all, Vivek on Instagram, and Lee Matthew Goldberg saying this has made my day. Jen is saying we should both win Emmys for these episodes. You know what? We'll talk about that another time, because I do want to get to the Ancestor. But Hannah Mary McKinnon and I have become dear friends. We talk all the time. And this just wouldn't have happened without the pandemic. So we shall see. We shall see what happens in the future. But Hannah and I will always be here as long as you want us here on First Chapter Fun. When we're back to normal life, we hope that First Chapter Fun will be part of your normal lives as well, because we have come to love it, and we have come to love you, and all this. The world is a crazy, unpredictable place, and Hannah and I are so happy that you are here in it with us. So without further ado, what time does it start? Brenda's saying, love a day of fun. Of course we do too. And Jacqueline is saying, I love glorious loot. Lisa from the UK, welcome, is saying, hi everyone. Vicky is saying, what time does it start? Okay, Vicky, what time does it start? I have no idea. Probably first thing in the morning, because I'll tell you a little secret about it. Should I? I should. We have asked authors to post, and we won't tell you who they are because you've got to come and see. We've asked authors to post whenever they want. So we'll see who the first author to post is. So you better be there to monitor all of the giveaways and all the prizes and all the loots and all of the events. So with that, do you think we should read our book? Do you think, since this is called First Chapter Fun, do you think we should read our first chapter? Hannah is saying it's all day. Yeah, oh yeah, it starts whatever time it starts, but it goes all day with a special event in the evening that I will let Hannah tell you about on Tuesday. So come back on Tuesday and hear about our special event on Wednesday. Jenny is saying hi. Carol Hild is here. That's so fabulous. And Lee is saying he will pick a viewer at random for a book giveaway, The Ancestor. Look at that fabulous cover. It is so, and when I use the word chilling, I use it advisedly. That is right. Here's Anissa. So nice to see you, Anissa, and so much fun to see you at Friends in Fiction last night. We love Friends in Fiction. Those 5 women are spectacular. So please check out that Facebook page. Not right now, because right now we're going to hear the Ancestor from Lee Matthew Goldberg, if you're all ready to go, and you'll want to have your cozy quilts and blankets wrapped around you to hear this. Joan Emerson is here. Hello, darling Joan. I'm so nice to see you and have you here on Facebook. I'm welcome. So, without further ado, as we say, The Ancestor, let me tell you a little bit about Lee Matthew Goldberg. Lee Matthew Goldberg is the author of the novels The Desire Card, The Mentor, and Slow Down. He has been published in multiple languages and is the editor-in-chief and co-founder of Fringe, dedicated to publishing fiction that's outside of the box. His pilots and screenplays have been finalists in many prestigious contests. After graduating with an MFA from the New School, his writing has also appeared in numerous anthologies and publications. He is a curator of the Guerrilla Lit reading series and lives in New York City. And you can follow him at leematthewgoldberg.com, at Lee M. Gold on Facebook, on Lee Matthew Goldberg on Instagram, and Lee Matthew G on Twitter. And I dare you to remember all that, but come to our Facebook page and it will all be there for you to find Lee. So let me tell you a little bit about The Ancestor. It is available now, and we're reading the first chapter with the permission of Lee and his publisher ADR Books, that all important information, without which the publishing police would be coming and carting Hannah Mary McKinnon and me away. But now, see, we are here for you. Okay, so The Ancestor, let me tell you about that. A man wakes up in present-day Alaskan wilderness with no idea who he is or where he's from. He sees another man hunting nearby, astounded that they look almost exactly alike. After following this other man home, he witnesses a wife and child that bring forth a rush of memories from his own family, except he's certain they do not exist in modern times, but from his life in the late 1800s. After recalling his name is Wyatt, he worms his way into his doppelganger Travis Barlow's life. Wyatt becomes convinced he was frozen after coming to Alaska during the gold rush, and that Travis is his great-great-grandson. Wyatt sets on finding the gold to ingratiate himself to his family, especially with Travis's wife, Callie. His interest turns into a dangerous obsession, Wyatt determined to secure what he believes is his. A meditation on love lost and unfulfilled dreams, The Ancestor is a thrilling page-turner in present-day Alaska and an historical adventure about the perilous gold rush exhibitions. Doesn't that sound amazing? I mean, that is unique, isn't it? That's quite astonishing. And Susan is saying, fascinating premise. And, oh, this is so nice. Let's see. SM Geist is saying, continue first chapter fun. Thank you, Susan. We will definitely do that. Helene says, the cover makes me think of a hand pressed against glass. Aha. What does it make you think of? Very, very wise, Helene. Tracy Clark, the fabulous, whose book we will read soon, says, whoa, that sounds cool. Cool is right. Exactly what it is. It is definitely cool. So let me read you the first chapter. Ready for this? This is unusual and crazy. So listen to this. Chapter 1 of The Ancestor. One eye open, the other frozen shut. He knows what an eye is, But that other eye remains a mystery. Mind scooped out and left in ice. Words are hunted, slowly return. Blue sky, that's what he sees. The sun twinkling like a diamond. Tundra, that's another recalled word. Packed snow on all sides as if the world succumbed to white. The air is a powerful whistle. A breeze blows, not a friend, but a penance. It passes right through and chills to the core, this enemy wind. Limbs atrophied, no idea when they last move. Boil of a sun thaws and prickles, tiny spiders swinging from leg hairs biting into flesh. He cries out, but there is no sound, for it feels like he hasn't spoken in centuries. Back of throat tastes of metal. A cough sends a splatter of red against the stark land, a streak in the form of a smile. When was the last time he ate? His stomach growls in agony, a good sign, organs working or at least attempting to work. His one eye scans to the left and to the right. No sign of anyone, not even an animal. No chance for a savior or sustenance. He gums his jaw, the first inkling of movement, aware of his scraggly beard coated in frost. Crystals spiral from his chin, collect in his lap. Now he sees his hands, luckily in gloves, except they are a thin brown leather, rather useless. Bones crack as he maneuvers to remove the gloves. Fingers tremble, once hit with fresh air, and numbness subsides. Massages his legs, gets the blood flowing, an injection of life. The spiders accelerate and then relent, toes wiggle, and he sits up. Around his neck rests a notebook and a fountain pen, the tip crusted in flakes. He feels an object in a front pocket and pulls out a silver compact mirror, the back embroidered with a floral pattern, ladylike. This is not my mirror, he decides, but then he has a more important realization. Who am I? With trembling hands, he brings the mirror up to his face. The reflection of a stranger, all beard save for some features that emerge, a bulbous but authoritative nose, green eye flecked with gold, a mane of dark hair cascading to his shoulders, handsome in a grizzled way. Shades of a bear in the roundness of his cheeks, and a wolf in his stare. I am, his lips try to say, but there is no answer. Often one can wake from a dream, and the dream seems real for a moment, but the sense of self never vanishes. Whoever he was has been gone for a long time, unlikely to return any time soon, at least while he remains freezing in the wilderness. I must make it out of here. It's relieving that he thinks of himself as an I. Whoever he is someone. A mother birthed and fed him. A father taught him. Taught him what exactly? Survival skills? How to hunt? If he had a father worth his while, he'd know how to do this. And then a caterwauling from the depths of his soul, a fawn in distress call that plants a trap for curious predators. He knows this sound well, meaning he's lured prey before. His daddy schooled him like a good man should. The waiting game. Another call erupts, a coyote's howl this time. He can recognize the difference. Then it comes to him that he needs to know what to do should an animal appear. He pats down his pockets. No weapons, but his fists. And then the clinking of sharp nails against the ice sheet. A majestic wolf, eyes like the sky, shimmering coat the color of clouds. Its charcoal nose twitches, the blood he hacked up in plain sight. He and the wolf lock into a dueling stare, neither wanting to be the first to flinch. A vision of death with baring teeth, or the start of his new life if victorious. The wolf doesn't give him a chance to contemplate, lunging with a mouthful of saliva. He catches it in a brutal embrace and becomes knocked off his heels, slamming his back against the hard ground. They skitter down a slick snow cap, snapping at one another like angry lovers. The wolf is relentless, a worthy opponent, a test of wills. He gets the beast in a headlock, trying to crack its neck, but the wolf is too slippery. Breath fumes from other kills circle into his nostrils. This wolf has never lost a battle before. Blood splashes, no clue of which of them has been wounded. They spin in the snow like a tornado. He makes a fist, jams it into the wolf's mouth. Teeth marks scrape against his knuckles as he rams his fist farther down the wolf's throat. The wolf heaves, chokes, attempting to chew off his hand, but its strategy is futile. It has only come across other animals, never a human mind that can think steps ahead. Now he attempts a headlock again with his left arm, squeezing off circulation. The wolf lets out a whimper that reverberates through his wrist. They lock into a dueling stare again, except this time he does not see the many kills of the wolf through its gaze. He visualizes its sadness, its inevitable end. And then the sound of a heavy branch snapping, the wolf's neck broken, his blood-soaked fist removed from the back of its throat, its dead tongue lolling out of its mouth against the icy bed. He pets its beautiful coat, this formidable foe, now a present wrapped with a bow to quench his all-consuming hunger. He kneads the clearest block of ice he can find. Using the wolf's teeth to carve a fine translucent round piece, he creates a magnifying glass. He rubs the dirt away and keeps rubbing until enough moisture flecks off. There's a bed of whittled grass at the slope he and the wolf ended up in, and he holds the ice over the dry grass, propping it against two logs until a brilliant rainbow prism shoots through and ignites a fire. He rips off all the breakable branches he can locate to stoke the flames. While it continues to spread, he procures a rock to blunt out the wolf's teeth, then uses them for the painstaking task of skinning the fur. He does it carefully, so a semblance of a coat remains, which he dips into a nearby brook to wash away any lingering blood and sinew. The sun has mostly dipped behind the mountains, and he wears the wolf's coat to mask the chill, then roasts its carcass over the roaring fire. The mead is a godsend to his empty stomach and also an immediate poison that his body rejects, but he sucks on some ice and the queasiness diminishes. By the time it's fully cooked, darkness reigns, and he feels more like a shell than anyone ever has before. Except with each chew, this lessens, and he soon becomes human again. But the loneliness isn't as easy to fight off. There are souls that feel lonely, he assumes, but at least they have themselves for company. They can rely on memories to help them through cold nights. He searches his mind for a wisp of the past, any nugget, wading through a never-ending sea. The horizon seemingly attainable, but with every stroke just as far away. He'd cry, but the tears are frozen in his ducts, and his one eye is still sealed shut. When enough of the wolf has been eaten, he feeds the fire and curls up to its warmth, his only confidant in this harsh wilderness, possibly his only companion forever, a lifetime of attempting to be caressed by flames, and nothing more. He wraps himself tightly in the wolf's fur, hoping that when he wakes up again, he'll know who he is. The nightmare vanished, along with the sun rising, like a bride's pretty little hand on his grizzled cheek. Yikes! Have you ever read anything like that? I mean, what an opening is that? You know, this man against nature, he doesn't know who he is, this one-on-one with the wolf who he respects and understands, the balance and the decision-making and what one needs to do to stay alive. Look at this cover again. Now you see what that is all about. And it says from the S.J. Roseanne, who is just a marvelous, brilliant, wonderful author. We should see if we could get her here for her newest book, Paper Sun. But she says, from the icy opening battle of man versus wolf, you'll feel yourself in the hands of a master storyteller, and that feeling never lets up. I mean, that is interesting. That is intriguing. It is unique. Helene is saying this opening raises countless questions. Yes, it does. Jacqueline is saying, I love the respect for the wolf. Yeah, I mean, that really comes through, that this is life or death. This is man in nature and man versus nature. And it comes through so beautifully, that decision about what he has to do to stay alive. And I love that, when he thinks about how the wolf is thinking, he's never faced a human before, someone who could could think ahead. So that is so interesting. Susan is saying, leave, knocked it out of the park with this one. Yeah, it is unusual. Hannah and I bring you many different kinds of books here on First Chapter Fun. A lot of thriller, a lot of suspense, a lot of domestic suspense, that kind of book, the kind that Hannah and I really, well, we write that kind of book. And we read that kind of book. That's one of our favorite genres, I suppose. But we also bring you rom-coms and women's fiction and a lot of adventure and thriller and spies and even some science fiction and speculative fiction. So we bring you everything. This is First Chapter Fun, and we don't narrow down our choices. We want to bring you things that might intrigue you, books that you might not have come across before. As Hannah and I have divulged to you, our goal is world domination and of your to be read piles. So we hope that we add to that today with The Ancestor. Let me get it back for you. The Ancestor by Lee Matthew Goldberg. Now, I told you that Hannah and I bring you all kinds of different books because we want you to have never a dull moment here on First Chapter Fun. We know that you understand that we have our Can We Talk and What You're Reading. You can come to our Facebook pages all the time and Instagram for those chats because we want to hear from you and our fun facts about the authors and our author videos that we provide, all kinds of fun stuff on First Chapter Fun. But of course, the core of it is the books that we bring to you. Do you love our fun facts and the author 5 famous things about each book? And What You're Reading and Can We Talk? Tell us about that, the videos, what you like to see, what you'd like to see more of. We want to make First Chapter Fun. Hannah and I want to make First Chapter Fun exactly what you want, with surprises and books and discussion and new friends and the wonderful community that we are still building. I love to see so many people, so many new people today. It's just completely wonderful. Hannah and I read every comment, and there's Pugs in Pages, hooray, and Sarah. We read every comment and we treasure everything that you say. So we really love hearing from you. So now, continuing in the never a dull moment department, on Tuesday, look what we have for you. Talk about completely different. Here is Farrah Heron's Accidentally Engaged. Can you see that terrific cover? This is about a woman whose family is trying to convince her to get married, and in fact is arranging a marriage for her to a guy who turns out to be incredibly cool and incredibly hot. And incredibly desirable, but because her family has arranged this marriage, he is the last guy that she wants. So that is a sort of Jane Austen-y come to life kind of dilemma, but it is so contemporary because the way she's going to make everyone happy is, well, you'll just have to see on Tuesday for Farrah Heron's Accidentally Engaged. So that our time is up, and I have enjoyed being with you here today. Please take care. This is almost over, don't you think? Not First Chapter Fun, although it's almost over for today. But our lives have changed in so many ways. This is one of the ways that's good, First Chapter Fun. And as Hannah taught us to say, and as we always say, stay safe, stay kind, and we will see you right here next week. Love you so much.